I'm excited to be joined by my good friend JT Viele today. Welcome, JT.
Thanks for having me.
We've got you over for an interview to complement the Minneapolis OpenMic Moto-E playlist that we've been building up, which is on backtothecityminneapolis.com. Not only are you the curator of OpenMic MPLS, but you're also the front person in a band, a great band called Teddy Holidays, who are playing in duo form at the benefit that's coming up. And I just caught you performing in duo form.
You sly fox, yeah, you did.
I just caught you. What you're performing here are covers, but you have originals too. You also do covers of entire Radiohead albums when the fancy takes you.
One Radiohead album, In Rainbows, that might have been the highlight of my life. On the off chance there's footage of that.
Oh, yeah. You do have clips?
Yeah.
So here are the Teddy Holidays performing as Radiohead. We'll end today's episode with one of the songs performed by you and Brendan at this Egan show. But in the meantime, let's get back to focusing on OpenMic. OpenMic Minneapolis happens every Tuesday at Moto-E.
Correct.
Yeah.
Every Tuesday from 8 p.m. to 1 a.m., 30 to 35 performers playing 2-song sets. And then every Wednesday we have an artist showcase, we call it. It's more like a regular show. 3 acts, each playing 35 minutes or so. So open mic every Tuesday, and then a regular show every Wednesday.
Throughout the entirety of our conversation, and on the playlist that follows it, there's performances just from random nights at Moto-E. This quality of performance happens every Tuesday.
And depending on what you're pointing at right now, it might even be usually better than that. At the moment, I'll have you all know this is just a green screen. That's what I'm seeing. I don't know what you're seeing. But
how did Minneapolis Open Mic begin? What was the original venue, and what was your original plan for Open Mic?
So it wasn't called anything in particular yet, but the first time I ran an open mic, it was actually pretty strangely at a place called Blarney.
I've heard of this.
Dinkytown, an unlikely place for this to have began. A friend of mine worked there, bartending, and my band had played shows there. He asked me, as part of some promotion, they were trying out a whole bunch of things just to see what would stick, and he said, on Tuesdays I want to try doing an open mic, would you want to run it? And this was in 2009, and I had never crossed my mind that was a job that existed. I was not qualified for this at all, to be perfectly honest, and at first I'm sure I didn't do a good job at all. For the first several weeks of running an open mic, to me that was showing up and then playing for 3 hours, and if anybody else happened to show up, I'd hand them. That was, thank God we got through that part of it. Eventually, I got some input and started taking it seriously because I realized I really liked this.
You must do. Yeah. Like the effort that you put into it by now. As we can see, there's lighting, there might even be a fog machine. There will be, I promise, there will be a fog machine in at least one of the songs.
Oh, sweet. I'm glad to hear that.
There's a stage now?
The distance between there and here has been enormous.
Who were some of the original regulars, especially of those who have stuck around?
Quite a few, actually. Within the first couple months, Cara Lee was a regular.
Yeah, who performs with Doc Jefferson, who's performing at, one of the things we're talking about today is the benefit for Lauren, of course, which is at Mortimer's on Thursday 26th, and Doc Jefferson is one of the people performing at it.
Absolutely. So within a few months, there was also Cole Primo who was in the mix. He's very good. From the moment he did a microphone check, which I'm guessing we don't have a clip of this, but it would be great if we did. He has a very deep voice and a very hilarious
I think we can manage
of checking the mic. I won't even dare do an impression of it because I don't have his gravitas.
Well, he does. So cue Cole Primo mic check.
Maria, everybody. Thank you very much.
To this day, I'm not totally sure how Cole Primo found his way. I think his drummer happened to pass by. They came in and they were great, and then Cole's been more or less a fixture ever since. As have, let's see, if anyone else on this list. Oh yeah, Maddie from Matthias from Regional Dialect came around then, probably December 2009. Robin Viele has been a part of my life for even longer. I think I met her back in the 90s or something. But she actually, she's an interesting one. She didn't play music at all went back when this started. And I started teaching her guitar lessons in, I believe, 2011. And she just caught fire and has past everybody, pretty much.
I concur.
Yeah.
So what's the title of the new song that she's currently playing on Tuesday? She's played it for the last couple of Tuesdays.
I'm trying to remember which one
You
this is
did
going to
not
be.
try Hard Enough?
Oh, Hard Enough.
Hard Enough.
Hard Enough.
That's one of my favorite
Yeah.
Motu
I love that
songs.
song. Awesome.
Should we take a break and enjoy Hard Enough by your sister?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So this is Hard Enough by Robin Viele on Back to the City, but at Motu.
Grab a pen, write this down. I can't tell you again. I'm growing tired of spilling my heart out and watching you forget. How many times can I tell you? And why is it not getting through? I'm beat up, I'm broken, babe, I'm begging you. Grab your hand, place it over my heart. It's racing, I'm anxious, 'cause baby it gets hard to bear. 'Cause something I thought I deserved. And I know you're trying, I'm sorry for crying on what should be a perfect night. I can't feel the love, at least I still feel the fight. Oh my friend, oh my love, have we pushed just hard enough? I gave you all I had. We were good, then we turned back. Let's take time, let's be tough. I am lost where you led me. The road it got rough, I tried. You did not try hard enough. Last night we shared a bed. Now I need to be far away. Ain't it strange how we change our minds so fast? And I know in time I'll love you again, but right now I'm angry, I'm filled with regret. And you're doing fine, guess I don't know you yet. Oh my friends, oh my love, have we pushed just hard enough? I gave you all I had. We were good, then we turned back. Let's take time, I'll be tough. I am lost where you led me. The road it got rough, I tried. You did not try hard enough. I tried, I tried, I tried, I tried. But you did not try hard enough. Thank you.
Here we are back at the Beatbox, and performing between us is Pelham, who is involved in the benefit for Lauren on the 26th too. Pelham became a regular during a period of time when I was not a regular. How long has Pelham been playing?
I believe it's been 2 years now. I met him at a rooftop open mic, but he's been...
Elsewhere?
Rooftop at Moto I.
Oh, how regularly do those happen?
There have been 3 total, but there's one coming up actually. This might be breaking news on August 7th.
Oh, wow.
Which is National Night Out, Tuesday, August 7th. It'll be 50. Well, last time we got 49 one-song acts because it has to be done at 10 because of noise permit issues. So 6 p.m. to 10, one-song sets. Last time I think I had 150 signups and I got through 49 of them. So
wow, 49 in how many hours?
In 4 hours.
Yeah. 4 hours. Wow.
I'm hoping to hit 50 this time. So I'm a quantity first guy. Quality's coming in 2020. Yeah.
I think you can see some quality here too. 49 acts, one-song sets in 4 hours on that occasion. What's normal for any given Tuesday night at Moto these days?
About I think 33, 34 in 5-ish hours. From 8 p.m. to 1, sometimes it'll go a little past 1. It used to go all the way till 2 every single time.
Yeah, I remember those days.
And then I realized I'm not superhuman anymore and need to sleep every once in a while. So now it's down to a pedestrian 1:15. But yeah, I think the last few, 33, 34, something like that.
Yeah. And you, viewer, could be one of those 33, 34. You just have to text JT. We can give you a number, can't we?
Yeah.
Your number's all over the place.
No shame.
It's right here, courtesy of editing me, and it is 651-334-3433. That's easy to remember.
It's a palindrome too, not to brag, but it's the same backwards.
You can brag about all kinds of things. You don't need to brag about your palindrome phone number.
I feel like I do. I get bummed when I say my number and people aren't like, whoa.
Whoa.
Yeah.
How long does it take to organize the set list each week?
About 4 hours at least. Well, depends if you count the part where I spend an hour writing a stupidly long,
comedic,
hopefully amusing mass text, which has gotten tougher and tougher because there's been 400 plus of them now, 500 plus if you count Blarney. Anyways, nobody makes me do that. That's an hour I just burn for no reason.
There would be a riot if you stopped.
But the actual thing that I do need to do, or the organizing part, is probably about 3-4 hours. People who text me to sign up, I try to organize them in a way that will be pleasing to everybody, and I'll try to find efficiencies wherever I can. If I put this person next to this person, then I don't have to move the piano again, things like that. Anything I can do to save a minute.
There's not just guitar. So
Right.
this is your Takamine. It's a house guitar. Whoever's playing it right now, Chuck. Chuck is currently playing your Takamine.
Love Chuck.
I love Chuck too.
One of my favorite people.
One of mine too. When did Chuck become a regular?
He was a semi-regular, I believe, about four or 5 years ago, and then I always liked him. But then he started becoming maybe 2 years ago, something like that. Became one of the more reliable, like once a week guys, and I will never let him go. If he stops coming, I will find him and bring him back.
And he's freestyling right now. This is freestyling.
He's amazing. I'm worried a lot that because my attention at open mic is generally always on 100 things, including, and most importantly, the sound quality. So I gather that often he's aware of that, and freestyling lyrics specifically poking fun at me, or I mean that might be narcissistic. Maybe he's never once done that, but he could easily get away with it if he wanted to, because I'm too concerned about like how does it sound right now. He could be just talking about what an ugly turd I am.
Yeah, he's trying to make you sound bad, and you're trying to make him sound good.
I'm perfectly happy with this arrangement. He's also my DM in our weekly Dungeons and Dragons.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh, he would be.
Yeah,
a good
I
DM.
kind of want to just talk about that for the rest of the time. Yeah, he's a genius. It's crazy how many things he can keep track of in his head at once.
So what I'm trying to keep track of in my head at once is the fact that there's the Takamine guitar, but beyond that, are there any other house instruments? I think there's been a bass guitar on occasion.
Yep, you can always count on there being 2 house guitars. There's the Takamine that everybody prefers, even though it's all beat up, and then there's a Guild. If anyone actually prefers that one, it should be nicer, but it's nobody likes it better. There's also plenty of mics. There is a bass, electric bass, and there's a keyboard, capos, picks. I like to say, as long as you don't play a weirdo instrument, you can just put your clothes on and show up.
If you do play guitar, you can play your own guitar.
You are more than welcome to bring your own guitar. You can bring anything you want as long as it can be set up in less than 60 seconds.
You can bring your beats and you can rap along to them, as have I on one occasion.
Please don't bring your amp on a Tuesday.
Right.
It's a lose-lose. You're going to end up cutting into your own playing time, and you have to haul it up 2 flights of stairs.
Please also don't do this, but on more than one occasion I've seen you accommodate a full band.
Yes. I mean, if with enough warning and enough dialogue, I'm willing to accommodate just about anything because I'm an idiot. But
A kind, generous idiot.
But in general, everybody will be happier, including you, if you bring as little as possible.
Let's focus on the various hats that you're wearing, like during the course of the night. So you are running up to the list to see who's next, to tell them it's all you after this.
I do say that.
That's a catchphrase. You're running sound, and these days you don't have to be sitting.
I can run it from the iPad or I can run it from the board. That has been one of my favorite developments in the saga of OpenMic, because it used to be very cumbersome to how much I'd have to run back and forth. I mean, I still run around like a maniac, but it's much more pleasant now. Yeah, so I'm running the sound, I'm running the lights, which I can also do remotely, and I'm trying to keep track of who's on deck and who's after them to make sure that there's never any gaps between players or as little as possible of one. The thing that probably takes most of my energy is staying on top of my phone for people to check in, because to check in and to make sure that people have arrived when they're supposed to.
Which is how soon before the set?
Which is 30 minutes before whatever hour they reserved. So if you have a 9 to 10 spot, a spot in the 9 p.m. to 10 hour, you have to be there by 8:30 and text me that you've arrived. I have to stay on top of that, because then I'm constantly reshuffling the list to account for things like if somebody hasn't showed up or if there's walk-ins waiting for a spot, and I try to be as fair and transparent as possible. The list is there for everyone to see. I won't take somebody out of their spot and move them further back unless they've arrived late or have told me that that's okay. So
there's even for the walk-ins on the bottom left of the sheets, someone can write their name if they want to.
A better thing to do, in the top left there's a thing that nobody sees. I got to find a way to make it bigger and more noticeable, but the better thing to do is to text me your name and your how late you'd be willing to play. That way, I know that you're a real person and not a fake name that Doc Jefferson has wrote down there. First and foremost, it is hard to tell sometimes. Sometimes Slambo ass crap will sign up, and how am I to say that's not a real person?
At the end of the night, Slambo's like, you ignored me.
Right, or Rapscallion Barnaby, or Mortimer Capricious. It's better for both of us if you text me, because even if I do know that that's a real person, I don't know what you look like. It's going to be hard for me to find you and tell you.
Right, you can text to say.
I can text you saying I've acknowledged that I'm trying to do this, and I will keep you posted as best I can. And whether or not it works out, then we have a way to communicate for next week, so you don't arrive into the exact same situation again next week.
Something that you haven't mentioned, but that we can witness you doing right now, is you also perform in many of the sets.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
At the request of the artist, and that could be anything from playing the second guitar, doing a solo, or whatever, or playing the drums more often.
Right, I'm always happy to play drums or guitar or sing harmonies on at least one song upon request. I don't usually have time to meet up and rehearse with people, but I'm happy to listen to anything that people send me ahead of time or just wing it. A lot of what you may or may not be seeing right now is just me either winging it or having heard the song at Moto Eye often enough that I can that I know.
You know
what's
how
going
it is.
on.
Yeah, I think you play with Matty. Do you generally play with Matty?
I usually play drums with Matty.
Yeah.
But he also beatboxes. It's really fun because I'm superfluous, but I can't really ruin anything. I can just take credit. It's great. Yeah.
Yeah. And here's the thing that you can take credit for. We're currently witnessing JT playing drums with regional dialects Matty.
If there's any tempo issues, it's Matty's fault.
Playing the beatboxer.
Yeah. Yep, absolutely.
Matty, of course, is, again, another of the acts who's playing at Mortimer's.
Thursday the 26th.
Thursday the 26th, and that is 6 until 8, just the Moto Eye regulars portion of the evening is 6 till 8. And it's followed by some bands, some of which are also regulars at Moto, like Takiani, for example, who were playing a showcase on August 22nd at Moto E.
As is Regional Dialect, which is Matty's band.
As is Regional Dialect.
Yeah.
All of the audio of the performances that we're witnessing today, these are all recordings done by JT. If it's the first time that you perform, you get a free recording if you play new material?
Anytime you debut a new song, anytime it's your first time playing at Moto Eye, anytime you trade sets with somebody to go later. Basically, anytime you give me a compelling reason to send it for free, I'm happy to do it. Otherwise, it's $2. A whopping draconian $2.
$2 for 2 songs.
Yeah.
$1 for one song. So we're going to take our final break now, and we're going to enjoy a solo performance of the new Dirt Train single by Tucker Jensen. So Tucker performed this just last week at Moto, and we'll also be playing at Mortimer's at the benefit show, which we'll talk a bit about after this song.
My name is Tucker. I play in a band called Dirt Train. We're releasing a single from our debut EP. I'll be playing that song now. It's called Leave Me Alone. If you're gonna leave me, you gotta leave me alone. Don't keep me hanging on for so long. And if you're gonna leave me, yeah, you gotta leave me alone. Don't keep me hanging on, just say so long. You're gone and that's fine. I guess I could use a little time to myself or my health, so I could find a little peace of mind. And if you're gonna leave me, you gotta leave me alone. Don't keep me hanging on for so long. Said if you're gonna leave me, yeah, you gotta leave me alone. Don't keep me hanging on, just say so long. I ain't got a bad word to say about you, but when you walk into the room, I can't take the sight of you. And if you're gonna leave me, you gotta leave me alone. Don't keep me hanging on for so long. Said if you're gonna leave me, yeah, you gotta leave me alone. Don't keep me hanging on, just say so long. You got the best of me, but you never wanted the rest of me. And I'll do whatever it is that you want to do, 'cause all that I want is to be next to you. I said if you're gonna leave me, you gotta leave me alone. Don't keep me hanging on for so long. And if you're gonna leave me, you gotta leave me alone. Don't keep me hanging on for so long, so long, so long, so long, so long, so long.
Seriously.
Thank you.
He's one of my favorites. He's awesome.
He is awesome. If you haven't seen Dirt Train, the full band, then you're missing out. And you'll have ample opportunities to.
I totally agree. One of my favorite things in the current era of open mic is when Tucker will come in late and ask if there's any room towards the end because he's got a new song that he wants to try out. And I'm like, of course, I'll make you.
That is
tell me who you want me to cross off, and I'll cross them off.
That doesn't happen.
That doesn't happen.
But the rest of it does. My first experience of Moto-I was at the end of 2011. I came to one evening. I didn't know what to expect. Open mic in the Big Boy Lounge is what the room is actually called.
I've never been a huge fan. Yeah. I'm a fan of the second floor, but yeah, they do call it the Big Boy Lounge.
Yeah. So I came up the stairs to the Big Boy Lounge, and I was at that point in my life expecting to leave Minneapolis because I'd had some unfortunate events happen to me, including being assaulted by people on the street just wanting my stuff. So I had just become better enough to be able to go out, and I'd heard good things about the Twin Cities music scene, and basically my first experience of it really was open mic. It was your open mic, and I thought, if this is what the open mic is like, then it must be true that there's a flourishing Twin Cities music scene, which it is.
Well, that's very sweet. That's very sweet of you. That's I'm very happy to hear that it had that impact on him.
Are you surprised at how vibrant and diverse it's become? Like, I think we were talking at the beginning of the interview about Blarney's and how you didn't even expect to run an open mic.
I'm humbled constantly at how many people have made Moto-I seemingly like their center, their home, if you will, like their musical home, or their social hub.
Yeah.
That is to me its main function. It's all about the community and being a family, and I'm pumped every time by the people that come every week, and by the new people, and the way it's grown and evolved, and how this person has led to these people, and every time I think about it, it makes me happy.
That has become such a real thing. Right. Like anyone would like to say that an event they regularly go to is like a family, but the way especially in the last year or so, I feel like the full extent to which the Moto-I community of songwriters and just regulars, there's people who regularly go who don't perform, and they're part of this community too. It's like the realest, most reciprocal community that I've experienced, certainly in the Twin Cities, perhaps anywhere.
I'm very happy to hear that. I mean, that's definitely how it feels to me, and I like when somebody comes up the stairs and everybody's eyes light up because it seems to be like kind of a cheers sort of thing.
It is like cheers.
Everybody knows at least your first name and last initial. And
I know your first initials. I know just your initials.
To answer your earlier question, I feel like I've been doing this for 9 years now, 8 years at Moto, and I'm still feel like I'm just peeling the early layers of the onion off. Like I can't fathom how deep this goes, like, because there's so much I still don't know about the Minneapolis music scene in general. There's a lot to love about it, though. That much is clear.
There's a lot to love about the music scene, which is what I initially experienced, and like I said, my experience of coming on that one time. I had to go back to England to get a new passport because it had been stolen. Most people thought I wasn't going to return to Minneapolis, but truthfully, my experience of Moto-I was of the open mic at Moto-I was one of the reasons that I thought, I should go back. It seems promising. But I didn't expect the community to evolve like it did, like it has. And not the only way, but one of the most recent ways, of course, in which it has is through members of your open mic having become a close community, being there for Lauren when she's been ill. The benefit that's happening at Mortimer's is just one of lots of things that people in our friendship group, in our community, have been doing to help that particular friend. And I feel like Lauren is just one of a number of people that have been receiving reciprocal help from other members of the community. Would you? That's the case.
That seems to be an apt description of how it's gone. It's been really, really nice to see that when somebody's struggling, that there's a whole community that has your back.
To me, it's not coincidental that such a rich community evolves from a batch of people who also happen to be songwriters, because I feel like, you know, the vulnerability involved in, you know, writing a song, you know, most songs deal with some kind of pain, even if it's like having worked through it.
Yeah.
And
It's a community of sad bastards.
yeah,
Yeah.
who are kind of being vulnerable in front of one another. If I have a new song, that's the first place I want to go with it, you know, to gauge the response of other songwriters.
I'm happy to be the first one to ridicule it.
Yeah.
Be my honor. Tell you that it's a minute too long.
Yeah, that is what needs to be told. So I was going to say just a few final logistics. If you want to be part of this community, I would want, the way that we've been describing it, I would want to be part of this community if I was hearing about it for the first time.
If you don't want to be part of it, it's because Simon did a bad job of editing it. I said a ton of super inspiring things. I don't know what resulted. We'll find out together. Yeah.
But again, if you want to play in it, you can just text JT at 651-334-3433 at the Palindrome.
Text me anytime on Monday to sign up. I still try to accommodate walk-ins or late sign-ups, but it's easier on both ends if you sign up on Monday.
And generally people say what hour they want to play in, but you could say the longer the better, yeah?
Right. So a typical scenario would be on Monday you'll text me saying, I would love a spot in the 8:30 to 9:30 hour. I will respond saying, great, I've got you down for 8:30 to 9:30, you just need to be there by 8 p.m. to confirm. Basically, just text me on Monday and we'll talk through it. That's all you gotta do.
And then on Tuesday, you'll play 2 songs, or for 10 minutes, please err on the side of brevity.
Please. Yeah.
Which I find, I can repay you for all of my many more than 10-minute sets by being a spokesperson for erring on the side of brevity.
I love you being a spokesperson for the side of brevity. No, you've more than repaid me for many things. Simon, I don't know if this will make it through the editing process, but Simon Calder is a saint. He works harder than anybody I know.
Thank you, JT.
Yeah.
So we've made it to the end of our journey through the introduction to OpenMic. Don't forget that there are other showcases on Wednesdays. In fact, this Wednesday, day before the benefit, on the 25th, there's Emily Lindquist, Nate Hansen, and Timmy Knight.
And you can see any upcoming lineups for Wednesday nights at OpenMicMPLS.com. Usually have the next 2 or 3 months of lineups booked. If you're interested in playing a showcase of your own, you can text me about that too.
If you've been enjoying JT's humor, then you can get more of that.
You can buy my coffee table book.
JT will be there.
Right here.
JT's going to MC the 6 till 8 p.m.
Yeah, he is.
Showcase, Moto-E songwriter showcase part of the benefit on Thursday at...
I've been working on my dad jokes all week. Yeah.
So he'll provide more information, comical information, about each of those 10 performers. In order of appearance, that will be Doc Jefferson, Pelham, Chuck, Robin, JT's sister Robin, I Am Tiger, the Teddy Holidays, Regional Dialect, Ernest Rhodes, Cole Primo, and then Tucker Jensen from Dirt Train. And hopefully we'll see you there. To close, this is the Teddy Holidays duo, again, performing at Egan on Back to the City. Thank you very much for tuning in. I'm Simon Calder, and hopefully we'll see you at Mortimer's on Thursday.
Tricks with the light. Carve out a hole and no one can see the lights that will go. Tie your own hands, lay around roads. What if we never run out of excuses? Places to hide tend to be guided by weakness. Peace with our lives.
never run out of excuses.